A while back, I wrote a novel. The novel was called The Books of Avo, and I love this book. This book is my heart and my soul, okay? I started writing this book when I was 12 years old. It has all of my favorite OCs in it, and I think it's a really good book. I think it's a very fun time. However, I do not know how to sell this book. I'll be real, I'm just terrible at selling novels. I was nominated for a Lambda Award back in 2020, I believe, for my other novel, Honey Walls, and I still cannot move that book. I make barely any sales on that book. There is a box full of books in my basement, Honey Walls specifically, and I have not moved them. I'm just not good at it, okay? I'm not good at selling ebooks. I don't do that well at all. I kind of tangentially sell them, and for the amount of work that I put into them, it is kind of disheartening. And I think there are some other issues that I have with the whole culture around novels. I don't like Amazon, the Amazonification of the e-reader, e-book space. I don't love just the fact that you give someone a book and then you never hear from them. I'm just used to comics, okay? I am incredibly used to comics. And I have seen things like on Tapas where there are chapter by chapter introduced books on there, you know, like books that go chapter by chapter. There's maybe a few illustrations, and I don't think they do all that well. I don't think people are hugely into like serialized fiction online for whatever reason. I think people are more binge readers of that stuff, which is fine. And like looking at all that, I got very disheartened, okay? I got incredibly disheartened. But then I came up with an idea. So like I've been working on the Books of Avo for a while in comic form. I've actually never really talked about the philosophy behind it. So what you're seeing drawn right now is the Books of Avo. It is currently sitting at, 300 comic pages long? It is insane, okay? It is absolutely mind-boggling. I think we actually might be at 400 pages by this point. And the reason that it is going so fast is because I decided that I wanted to webtoonize it. I didn't want to turn it into like a comic whole cloth, but I wanted it to be kind of like a hybrid between a comic and a novel. I wanted to keep the text of the novel where it made sense to keep it, and I wanted to cut it and let visual speak wherever that would allow. And with that in mind, I wanted it to be very simple to produce. I didn't want to fixate too hard on backgrounds, too hard on like just adding tons of detail. I wanted it out quick, and I wanted it to be kind of a accessible version to read the Books of Avo, because I think that a lot of people in the comic space are in here for a good reason. You know, like people might just kind of have more difficulty with large swaths of text. People might be like new to English. People might be dyslexic like me. And I just wanted to create something that was a lot more accessible to like me as a reader, what I would want to read. And I really like it. I wanted to lean on kind of like the thing in Webtoon. Webtoons are a little bit lazy and people love Webtoons. So like, I didn't think that you needed to be so locked in with every page. I think there's space for beautiful comics with elegant backgrounds, perfect flow between panels. And I also think there's space for me to share my novel, because like I worked very, very hard on the novel. I worked really hard on the prose, and that's what I care about most with the Books of Avo. It is a little boring in comic form, and I think that's fine. And I've just loved this conceptually. I've been doing Kickstarters for it. I have done 2 thus far. I am sending out the books for the second one, but each chapter of my novel, I get to make a little book containing the entire chapter, but in this like easy reader format, and that's been very helpful. I just kind of think that it's fun to think outside the box, right? And another way that I kind of made the Books of Avo more accessible was that I have an audiobook version of it. And with this audiobook version of it, I thought this paired perfectly well with this comic version that I've been doing, and I realized that I could play them simultaneously and kind of help even more readers start reading the books of Avo. There's kind of this thing, just in general, like posting things on YouTube where like not everyone is going to want to actually read my work, which is perfectly fine. I understand that it is not for everyone, or like you get busy and you forget about it, but I am happy that people are actually engaging with my story more in all the different forms that's possible. And like this is just like I just want to say that there's like other things possible with comics. There's other things possible online. I think creating this comic form that's kind of a Trojan horse for my novel works so well. A lot of it probably has to do with my audience too. I've created an audience that's very comic focused, and I'm sure a lot of you struggle with novels. Like there's a lot of dense text. I know there's like a lot of issues people have with reading in general this day and age for a multitude of reasons, and I just want to make that more simple. I don't want to be judgmental. I just want to help more people engage with my story because I love the books of Avo so much. It's really important to me, and the fact that I am making a comic version of it also means that I get to promote it constantly and in perpetuity, right? There's going to be a sequel one day, and then I'll get to do comics for all of it. But in the meantime, I still get to do what I can with the first one, you know? And sort of like I've been thinking, and you'll see this coming up soon, is that we're working on Honey Walls, okay? Honey Walls was my very first novel, and it's a lot shorter than the books of Avo. It's a single contained book. It's the one that was like nominated for a Lambda award for transgender fiction, and I'm getting really excited to finally like introduce people to the story, because like I'm just not great at marketing ebooks. I'll be real, it just doesn't click with me, and I'm really hoping to bring it to life. It has an audiobook. It's not done by me or Ursula. It's done by a fellow named Jonathan Coventry? Is it Coventry? I forget. Oh god, slipping my mind. But I'm going to be putting that on eventually, and I think that's so cool. Yeah. And if you love Ursula's voice and you miss her, and you miss Ursula, she narrated the entire Books of Avo audiobook. So if you miss her, you miss her saying words in your ears, she exists, okay? You can read her. You can have her read my book to you. So that's kind of cool. Sorry if this was kind of just a pitch. I just wanted to talk about this because it's not really something I've ever discussed. And like a lot of people, I don't have as huge like a commenter base as a lot of my other comics, but I do have some amount of commenters on the Books of Avo, and it does well enough. I'm very impressed with how well it does for how small it is, and I am impressed that it has made money so far. I think that's very cool. I like that, and yeah, I look forward to posting more of it, and I'm looking forward to doing Honey Walls as well as one day Crow Story, but I have to actually write Crow Story. And yeah, thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts on it, because a lot of people will read it and be like, oh my god, I didn't realize I needed this format of comic to exist. I didn't know I needed this, and I'm really happy that people feel that way. I'm happy that it kind of clicks with the people who are like, I'm dyslexic and this works perfectly for me, because like that's what I'm going for. I want novels for the dyslexic. It's kind of like those little easy reader books like you got in like grade school where you were learning to read, and they'd have like visual aids and stuff, and they were just like very engaging. Like that's what I'm going for, but with more adult topics, I guess, is kind of my goal. Anyways, if you like comics, please check out my Discord. I'm trying to build an audience there. We're trying to reinvigorate the Discord full of comic creating madness, okay? It'll be very helpful come Comic Crunch time if we're all engaged on the Discord, because it's going to go crazy next November, okay? I promise. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.